What's up, beautiful people? Today we're going to be checking out how Ibrahim Traore is fighting and making Burkina Faso safer. Now, for those who might not know who Ibrahim Traore is, he's the current president of Burkina Faso, and he came into power by means of coup d'etat in 2021, I believe, and he's also very much admired by people around his nation. He's a young man and people think he's the best option for Burkina Faso. Well, today we're going to find out if he really is, so let's get to it.
In the far north of Mali gradually made its way down the Sahel, infiltrating large areas of Mali and eventually invaded Burkina Faso and Niger.
Vous dire bonjour parce que nous savons ce que vous vivez.
We know what you're going through, we know what's going on in this region, and we know all the work you are doing.
Les partenaires, il faut dire les nouveaux partenaires.
We need partners.
Sinon, les...
I mean new partners, because the old partners we had since the beginning until today, we have not received a single cartridge from them. It sometimes discouraged the soldiers. I kept telling them we can't get discouraged because we have a mission. Despite the arrival of Western military bases in the countries, the insurgencies have continued to expand. The stakes are high. Failure to stop the insurgents threatens to erase more than 20 years of development in the region, while Ibrahim's success will be a victory for West Africa and Africa as a whole.
Wow, he means war. Recently we saw he got weapons from Russia.
Vous dire bonjour parce que nous savons ce que vous vivez. Nous savons
we know
ce
what
qui se
you're
passe
going
dans
through.
cette région.
We know what's going on
Et
in
nous
this
savons tout
region,
le
and
travail
we
que
know
vous
all the
abattez.
work you are doing.
Nous
We
venons
also
aussi pour
come
vous
to invite
inviter
you to perhaps change our
peut-être
dynamics to
changer
be
de
able to
dynamique.
adapt better.
à pouvoir mieux nous adapter. Le contexte a changé. La direction du Burkina a changé. Il va de soi qu'on puisse donc changer tout et s'adapter.
The context of the fight has changed.
Vous êtes très
The
éprouvés.
direction of Burkina Faso has changed.
Il y a la
We want to
fatigue,
change everything and
Il y a beaucoup
adapt
de
to
choses.
improved strategies.
mais vous êtes des
I know
guerriers,
you
vous
have
êtes des
been under
combattants
so
et vous
much
tenez bon
pressure.
jusque-là.
But you are warriors,
Voilà
you are
pourquoi on a
fighters,
jugé
and you
nécessaire
continue push on.
De lancer des recrutements pour pouvoir soulager un peu vos fatigues. Nous suivons le rythme depuis quelques années et nous savons qu'on ne peut pas continuer dans le même rythme avec les mêmes effectifs. Pendant que la guerre continue de
We
croître.
have been following the rhythm for a few years, and we know that we
Donc,
cannot
il s'agit
continue
de
at the
changer
same
un
rhythm
peu
with
la
the
donne.
same numbers while the war continues to grow.
Les gens sont en
It's
formation
about changing things up a
dans toutes les
bit.
catégories.
People are in
Soldats,
training in
sous-officiers,
all
officiers.
categories.
Ils vont bientôt vous
Soldiers,
rejoindre.
non-commissioned officers.
Mais il est de votre devoir
They will
People would say this is the advantage of having a military leader. He understands the tactics of which soldiers should fight insurgency. Do you think this is the case here? Because he's emphasizing that there are people training in diverse departments in the military to help fight against insurgency.
join you
Surtout les gradés.
soon, but it is your duty,
De pouvoir les
especially the
brûler.
high-ranked officers,
les
to put
entraîner,
them
parce que
through.
ce qu'ils
Train
recevront,
them, because what
c'est
they
une
will
formation
receive, it's an
militaire
initial
initiale.
military training. But
Mais
you
vous,
who are
qui
seasoned
êtes
and
aguerris,
used
qui
to
êtes
the type
rompus
of
au
combat
type de
you are
combat
facing,
auquel vous faites face,
you must
vous devez leur
transmit them
transmettre
everything
tout
that
ce
you
que
have
vous avez
acquired
acquis
as
comme
experience.
expérience.
Because in your patrols and
Parce
your
que
missions, you
de
change
vos
your
patrouilles et
own
de vos
words of
missions,
action normally,
vous
so
changez
put them
vous-même vos
through.
modes d'action normalement.
These people will join you so that they can support
Ces
you.
gens vont vous rejoindre pour que vous puissiez les driller et qu'ils puissent vous appuyer et vous soutenir. La zone est vaste et compliquée.
This was one of several missions that military leader Ibrahim Traore has planned with his forces since becoming president. According to the report, after arriving in this town located in the northeast of Burkina Faso, the troops proceeded towards the border with Niger, an area considered to be a stronghold of terrorists.
He walks into the terrorist zone with soldiers. Wow, a lot of presidents wouldn't do that. They won't even go close, or even if they do, it's going to be after the military has taken over and swept the whole city, then they would walk in. But he's walking into the war front. Okay, I see you.
Proceeded towards
Look at him.
the border with Niger, an area considered to be a stronghold of terrorists.
Stronghold of terrorists.
There was a challenge. The road has been mined and extremely dangerous. But Captain Ibrahim had a plan before sending the troops on the mission.
Zero.
He made arrangements for the services of the Algerian military to provide multiple rockets which were useful in striking the terrorist position in order to give the troops some leverage and time to demine the road. They succeeded in detonating all the mines, and as they approached the enemy stronghold, suddenly shooting started. The terrorists had laid an ambush. Shootings continued for several hours. Today, reports say there are over 20 insurgents groups, mostly Islamic jihadists, in the Sahel from the north of Mali to Sudan, Mauritania, Niger, and Burkina Faso. In this interview, Ibrahim Traore tells a reporter on the field about how the Burkina Faso military was refused assistance and approvals to acquire important weapons needed to fight a rapidly increasing insurgents in the region. But after more than 10 years of being terrorized, Burkina Faso now has the opportunity to acquire arms for its military.
Actuellement, il faut générer des unités et il faut les équiper.
This would be why the partnership with Russia is very strong, because we've seen they're receiving weapons from Russia, I think receiving drones as well from Turkey.
Currently, we are reinforcing the troops. We have to equip them because the firepower of the enemy fire has increased a lot on the ground.
Wow.
The equipment is also modernized as we go along. We have to go to a fairly large scale, so there are a lot of things going on here thanks to the Burkina people. There are a lot of things going on. Acquisitions have already been made in terms of combat resources and everything land, especially air. Also, we are very happy today to have on our soil drones. I can say the drone is the more efficient, but we're not going to let you see it here because it's also very strategic. Other weapons are coming. The soldiers will be back attacking the terrorists in a short time. There are a lot of things to come, especially the armored vehicles, which are important in the protection of the men. We have to acquire them in large numbers. All the same and many other things. In terms of infantry, of artillery, and our Air Force, we need partners. I mean new partners, because the old partners we had since the beginning until today, we have not received a single cartridge from them.
Who were the partners? Call names, please.
So we have been managing in Burkina Faso. It sometimes discouraged the soldiers. I kept telling them we can't get discouraged because we have a mission. We have geopolitical enemies who want to take it all out on Burkina Faso, so you see that there is convergence of terrorists towards Burkina Faso. Their objective is to wear us down, to weaken us, because the direction we have taken does not favor them. So it's normal that their sponsored terrorist activities intensify. The challenges posed by terrorism have highlighted existing weaknesses in governance, including corruption, lack of state presence in remote areas, and limited resources for security forces. The security situation has forced a significant number of people to flee their homes, either internally or across borders. This displacement has strained resources and led to a growing humanitarian crisis, including food shortages, lack of healthcare, and education disruptions.
Especially food shortages. Because I said this in my old video, when these insurgents take over part of a forest or bush, that place mostly used to be a farmland. And the people who are there providing food cannot farm anymore. And because there's no food supply from them, the country doesn't have food enough. So now they have to be seeking humanitarian aid from like EU or I don't know, other countries. So now if they can fight this insurgency and gain back their land, maybe they can provide enough food for the country. So yeah, I understand why people put so much energy in fighting insurgency. It happens in Nigeria too. I'm sure you guys have heard of Boko Haram.
The ongoing conflict has disrupted economic activities, particularly in border regions, affecting trade and livelihoods.
Right.
Tourism, an important sector for Burkina Faso, has suffered due to security concerns. However, the new military government of Ibrahim Traore has taken steps to enhance its security efforts and regional cooperation. It has engaged in joint military operations with neighboring countries, particularly those in the G5 Sahel group, Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, Chad, and Mauritania. The situation underscores the interconnectedness of security issues in the Sahel region. While addressing the root causes of terrorism within Mali is crucial, a comprehensive approach involving regional cooperation, development initiatives, and efforts to counter radicalization is essential to bring stability to both Mali and its neighbors like Burkina Faso. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like the video that I
We did, sir. Well, let me know what you think about that. And while I was watching that, a question came into my mind, and it is, who is sponsoring the insurgents? How do they keep getting weapons? If you noticed, Ibrahim Traore himself said the military power of the insurgents is being enhanced, or is, those were not his words, but he said it's growing, so we need to enhance ourselves. So where are they getting money to enhance themselves, the insurgents? Enough that the military of a country cannot keep up. It means there's like real money coming to them. The insurgents have built a whole, a whole nation of wealth for themselves to have enough weapons to fight a country. Yeah, these things are very concerning, very, very concerning. I don't understand what they be fighting against. Like, what do they really want? If there was to be a dialogue right now, what would they say they want? Because the country needs peace. Burkina Faso, they don't have a lot of people compared to countries like Nigeria. So if a portion is hurt, it's going to hurt like everybody. Let me explain what I mean. So in Nigeria, let's say one part of Nigeria, like the northern part, is being hurt by maybe insurgents. There could be another group where it's like another like 5-10 million people that could complement for that. But in Burkina Faso, where the nation is not as big, if a group is hurt, a side is hurt, that could hurt the whole nation, because the supply is extremely dependent on the production of the people. So yeah, it's, if he can really fight this and help grow his nation even more, it'll be a very good thing. Let me see the population of Burkina Faso. Let's see. Population of Burkina Faso. To see 22 million people in Burkina Faso. This was in 2021. That would mean it is the size of Lagos state in Nigeria. Yeah, so if people in one region cannot produce, it's really going to hurt the nation. So they need to take back their land. Well, let me know what you think about that. It's the end of this video. Smash the like button. If there's anything you want to add, correct, critique, feel free to do so in the comment section. That being said, have a very wonderful day. Peace. I made this bet on my own.